Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Keri Russell's The Diplomat Season 2. Spoilers for all of the Diplomat series here, but this is absolutely every Dungeon Master content, and it comes from one line that was said in episode 4 of the show. And it was such a brilliant line, and it just so beautifully depicts the brilliance of this show. So basically, the show is about a false flag. So season 2 of The Diplomat is about a false flag attack on a British military, a British naval vessel. An official British military, United Kingdom military vessel. And it actually blows up. The entire thing blows up, right? Well, at first, the prime minister blames it on Russia. Then it comes out that the prime minister had an ally, actually a mentor, who actually did a false flag attack and had intended to use a limpet mine, which is a magnetic mine that just connects to a ship, and they wanted to blow a hole in it, and they wanted it to start sinking, and then everybody, heroically escapes. Well, they didn't have limpet mines, so then they're like, well, we'll just, send a missile at it, right? But they got the wrong missile. And actually, they didn't even get the wrong missile. They got the right missile, but the place where they hit the ship was like 40 tons of fuel, and it blew the whole ship up. Everybody died, right? So it was a false flag attack that was way worse than was planned, and it was done by an ally of the British Prime Minister. And the U.S. diplomat to Great Britain, is now involved in this, right? And essentially, they find and using a CIA lead, Keri Russell's diplomat character figures this out and gets a confession from this old lady. It's this old granny lady, right? Like, she's just an she used to be like a diplomat herself. Then she was like a major player. Like, she's a lot like Nancy. She's like Britain's Nancy Pelosi, if she was even more dangerous than Nancy Pelosi. Actually, I don't know. Nancy Pelosi pretty dangerous. She literally ended Biden's presidency, in my opinion, at the behest of George Clooney, in my humble opinion. But a lot of people agree with me on that. It's not just my humble opinion there, I don't think. It's a lot of people's humble opinion. So it was really fascinating. So basically, and this old granny lady, she says, it was a small plan hatched in crisis, and everything that could go wrong did. It was a small plan hatched in crisis, and every single thing that could have went wrong did. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is a D&D like campaign right there, right? People are going to come and blame Vecna, but it wasn't Vecna. It was Illustriel, right? Well-meaning, So or it was Tasha, I guess Tasha's kind of a little bit on the evil side anyway. Or it was Mordenkainen, but they made him a villain in Vecna's last adventure too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess Lustriel's the only good. Are there any heroes left, like in D&D? Are there any heroes Are there any famous heroes in D&D? Man, that's kind of weird. Like, all the famous people are villains. Venger, Vecna, wow. I don't know. Yeah. But this was a banger. And so one, that's how to craft at least an adventure, right? And maybe not a whole campaign, but like a small plan hatched in crisis, and every possible thing that could have went wrong did. And that's a brilliant line. It's great language. But I'm telling you right now, if you watch The Diplomat, you will understand how the Mask Lords of Waterdeep operate. If you watch The Diplomat, you will understand how Lord Neverember gets anything done in Neverember, right? If you watch The Diplomat, you will know how the ruling classes of Eberron rule. If you watch The Diplomat, You will know how the guilds fight amongst themselves in Ravnica, right? Everything you need for your Dungeons & Dragons Lego City campaign, it's all right here, right? For the mayor, for the councilman, it's all right there. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments, send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.